At 82 years old, I thought I had life figured out. I had seen ups and downs, made tough choices, and learned to embrace change. But there's one decision I regret more than any other: moving into a nursing home. When my family suggested it, they assured me it was the best choice. "You'll be safe," they said. "You won't have to worry about anything." And at the time, I believed them. I thought I was choosing comfort, security, and a worry-free life. But what I got was something very different. If you or someone you love is considering a nursing home, I urge you to listen to my story first. There are 6 things I wish I had known before I made this life-altering choice. Things that would have made me think twice. And by the time we get to the last one, you'll understand why leaving isn't as simple as walking back out the door. So let's begin. Lesson 1. Independence slips away faster than you expect. When I first arrived, I still felt like myself, strong, capable, and independent. I could get around on my own, take care of my daily routines, and make my own choices. But in a place where everything is scheduled for you, something unexpected happens. You start losing control over your own life. It began with small things. Breakfast was served at a set time, whether I was hungry or not. Showers had to be scheduled. Even going outside for fresh air required permission or an available caregiver. What used to be my personal decisions were now dictated by someone else's schedule. Then came the real wake-up call. One morning I went to put on my favorite sweater, but it was missing. Someone had taken it for laundry without asking. That's when I realized I no longer had full control over even the smallest details of my daily life. Losing independence doesn't happen all at once. It happens in pieces, so slowly that you don't notice until one day you wake up and realize you're living by rules you didn't set. If you're thinking about a nursing home, ask yourself, are you truly ready to hand over control of your life? Because once it starts slipping away, getting it back is much harder than you think. Lesson 2. The loneliness no one talks about. When I moved in, my family promised they'd visit often. At first they did. My daughter stopped by every Sunday. My grandchildren came with bright smiles, filling the room with laughter. It made me feel connected to the world outside these walls. But slowly, the visits became less frequent. "We'll come next weekend," they'd say. "Things are just so busy right now." And then next weekend turned into next month. The holidays came and went, with promises of visits that never happened. I wasn't the only one. I saw it in the eyes of my neighbors too. Residents who sat in the common room, staring at the door, hoping today would be the day someone remembered them. It's not that our families stop loving us. It's just that life moves on. And when you're no longer part of their daily world, it's easier than you'd think to be left behind. If you're considering a nursing home, ask yourself, can you handle being forgotten? Because no matter how much they care, people get busy, and loneliness is a burden that no amount of medical care can fix. Lesson 3, without purpose, life feels empty. I always thought I'd enjoy the slower pace of life in a nursing home. No more chores, no more responsibilities, just time to relax. But I never realized how much I needed those little daily tasks to feel like myself. At home, I had a reason to get up each morning. I took care of my plants, cooked my own meals, and even helped my neighbor with his garden. But here, my meals were made for me, my laundry was done by someone else, and there was nothing left to do but wait for time to pass. I saw this happen to others too. A woman named Margaret used to knit every day. She loved making scarves for her grandchildren. But over time, her hands grew stiff, and she stopped knitting. "What's the point?" she told me one day. "No one really needs them anymore." Purpose isn't just about big accomplishments. It's about feeling like you matter. And when that's taken away, something inside you starts to fade. Before choosing a nursing home, ask yourself, what gives your life meaning? Because once you stop doing what you love, finding joy again isn't as easy as you might think. Lesson 4. Declining health isn't just about age. Before I moved in, I was doing just fine for my age. I wasn't running marathons, but I was active. I cooked, cleaned, and even went for daily walks. But once I was in the nursing home, my activity level dropped without me even realizing it. Why get up if meals are brought to you? Why walk far when everything is within reach? Little by little, I moved less, and my body started changing. My legs felt weaker, my stamina dropped, and one day I struggled just to stand up from a chair. I wasn't alone. I saw others go from walking to using walkers, from walkers to wheelchairs. The less we did for ourselves, the more help we needed. And once you start relying on help, it's hard to regain what you've lost. If you're thinking about a nursing home, ask yourself, will you still push yourself to stay active when everything around you is designed to make life easier? Because the truth is, once you stop using your strength, you start losing it. Lesson 5. Your privacy and dignity will never be the same. At home, I could close my door and be alone when I wanted. But in a nursing home, privacy is a luxury. Staff come in and out. You share spaces with people you didn't choose. Even simple things like using the bathroom sometimes require help. One of the hardest moments was realizing I needed assistance with things I had done on my own for decades. I remember pressing the call button, waiting, and feeling embarrassed that I had to ask for help at all. Dignity is something you don't think about until it's slipping away. When someone else decides your daily schedule, when people knock but don't always wait for an answer, when you stop feeling like an individual and start feeling like a patient, those little losses add up. Before choosing a nursing home, ask yourself, are you ready to share your space, your schedule, and even parts of your personal care with strangers? Because once you give up that privacy, it's hard to get it back. Lesson 6. Leaving isn't as easy as you think. I thought I could leave if I didn't like it. But the truth is, getting out isn't simple. My home was no longer mine. It was sitting empty, or worse, my family had started making plans for it without me. My savings were going toward nursing home costs. And after months of doing less for myself, I wasn't sure I could live on my own anymore. I met others who had planned to stay just for a while, but ended up stuck for good. Once you're in, the outside world feels farther away than ever. Before moving into a nursing home, ask yourself, are you ready for this to be a permanent decision? Because for many, once they move in, there's no easy way back. Final thoughts. If I had known what I know now, I would have fought harder to stay in my own home, to find ways to get help without losing my independence. A nursing home isn't just a change of address, it's a change in the way you live. And once you're there, life will never be the same.